And here is what 5 minutes in a Long Island thrift store looks like. This just happened so fast. This is even before the first aisle. Here's what I left behind. This glass compote was $6.99. Not sure who it's by. This is by Jose Lopez. I've seen them go for about 20 bucks. This was a Blendo set, which if in really good condition, could have gone for 30 or 40 bucks. But it was definitely starting to show some wear and tear. Same with this Blendo set. I was kind of surprised to find two at the same time. This one also could go for 30, 40 bucks if it was in really good condition. But it did have some issues. You could see there the paint is actually starting to peel off. So I did leave that behind. And then the other thing I found was this glass decanter. I left that behind, but it was kind of neat. And this is Val St. Lambert. I went back for it the next day and it was gone. There were two of them. And then an elephant by I.W. Rice, but the tail was broken. Hey everybody, I'm back from Long Island. Sorry I didn't have more video from in the stores. Things just kind of happened fast, and before I knew it, I had stuff. But most of what I got was art glass, so I figured I would do a Is It Murano video, because these are the types of things that I think fool all of us. We either hope they're Murano or we can't identify them as anything else other than Murano or Murano style. So this first one, a lot of people refer to this as Murano or Murano style. They'll even say, not sure how to pronounce it, Lavarizoni. I should know how to pronounce Italian names coming from Long Island. But this one, look, it's Lavariozin. That's so wrong. Anyway, this is actually by Crystal Clear Industries. The reason I know that is because I saw the exact same bowl with the label on it. And Crystal Clear Industries is actually made in Italy, but they do say on their label itself, Murano style, and then they give their brand. But obviously in this day and age, we just call things Murano style. And I think it's a good thing to delineate if it's actually Murano, because that has a price point, or whether or not it's Murano style, because that is a different price point. So this one, again, if you see these around, they have these ruffled edges. There is no texture on the back here other than on the ponto itself, which is rough and has a little bit of grooving in it. So that's a telltale that it's not Murano. This would be high gloss, ground down, nice and shiny. The next two pieces were these two vases, and these were actually sitting up by the cash register because somebody changed their mind and left them behind. And because they're so similar to each other, I knew right off the bat they're not going to be Murano. They're going to most likely be something mass produced. And I did a little bit of research. Also, you can see on the bottom they had similar labels, nothing that looks like a Murano label, which is like a little oval. But I did see that Crate and Barrel actually had similar pieces to this, and we should get a little closer here because they are a bit of a feather pull. They're really pretty, but they're kind of on the lightweight side, which also is indicative of something being slightly mass produced, because they're not going to put a lot of glass product into something that's going to be a lower value. So these, I do believe, there is a company called Tori and Tagus, or Tagus and Tori, but they are importers. And they do a lot with art glass. I've seen other pieces that are similar to these. So they may have been the ones that imported it for whichever department store had sold it. I'll just go back really quick. So the yellow bowl, what did I pay for this? The price tag on it, $7.99. But because it is so large, I think it's like 14 or 15 inches, and I did see some selling for a good amount. I saw one of these sell for like $100 and something. But I think I'll probably list this around $60, $65 and see if anybody bites. It's a nice statement piece there. And then the two blue vases, this one was $9.99. This one was $12.99. And I will put them up for 30 and $38. See how that goes. I don't think they're worth too much more than that. And there are a lot of comparable pieces to these that are more expensive. So I want to be a little less expensive. This one I found at the Salvation Army right as I was checking out. I had not seen an example of this. It's kind of like a conch shell type bowl, and it's got this nice detail here and all this nice mottled glass in there. And it's a purple and black kind of glass. This is actually by a company called Josephina of Poland, and they have been around since the 1980s. I think this is probably going to be like early 2000s. The color screams 80s, but the form, To me, early 2000s, people are getting a little more aware of the world around them and nature and bringing that into their home decor. So that I lean more towards the 2000s. And then there was this little green compote bowl. This is, I mean, most of you guys know right off the bat, that's not Murano, but for folks learning, this is actually L.E. Smith glass. This is their Simplicity Green. Somebody could potentially confuse this also with Viking. It sort of looks like Viking, but it does have these molded bumps all the way around that make it a bit distinctive for L.E. Smith. And then there's a scalloped pedestal base with just a tiny bit of an edge to it. So those were the points that I used to solidly identify that. This was made from 1958 to 1976. I paid $3.99 for it, and I see them selling for about 20 bucks. So that's what I'll put it up for. The next piece was, this was also at Savers. Happened so quick again. This piece was $10.99. And it does have that like Murano look to it. It's very heavy. It seems that somebody put care into making it. However, on the bottom, there is a label that says made in China. So it's mass produced. If you see this out there or something similar to it, you can probably guess that it's not Murano. But gosh, if it didn't have that sticker, I'd probably be spending some time trying to figure out whether or not it is Murano. My other guess would be Chalet Glass. And what's the other one? Hopska. John Hopska makes similar pieces to this. I have to double check. That might not be the right name. The last name's right, the first name I'm not sure about. So as far as the art glass goes, I did not find any Murano, but I found some beautiful pieces nonetheless. This is $10.99, and I will put this up, this piece here, up for $45 and see what we get there. The other thing I got, if anybody knows anything about this, I think it's probably a souvenir piece, but I found it at a garage sale. It's a very heavy piece of wood, and it is actually carved on the back. That's what kind of made me want to grab it, because it wasn't just on the front. I thought there's a little more effort in there, but I don't know anything about it yet. So if anybody else does, put it in the comments. And then the other thing I found, which was funny because I got to Salvation Army, I wasn't finding much. I also wasn't finding a cart or a basket. So I went from nothing in my hands to 5 of these, which also made filming things a little bit hard. But these are really cool. They have on the bottom a very, very old made in Taiwan sticker that looks about to be 50s or 60s. Plus the aesthetic is obviously 50s or 60s, that whole tropical Hawaiian bamboo type of theme. But I got, they were $1.99 a piece, and I got a set of 5. I think I'll just list them. So I spent 10. I'll probably list them for 25 and see what I get there. So yeah, that was it. Oh, and then the other thing I got, I'll show you really quick. One of the fun things about Long Island is the stuff that people throw away. And my mom and I have a cute habit sometimes of driving around to garage sales right at the end of the day to see what they're putting out on the curb or slashing prices on. This was at a garage sale for 12 bucks, but they were putting it out on the curb when we got there. And this is such a cool fireplace screen. I'll move this out of the way so you can see it better. Oh, we'll go over here. But I freaking love it. It's got these peacock feathers, and then it's got the lion wings, and then a little handle here. I haven't identified it yet. I don't know how old it is, and I'm probably going to keep it. I don't think I'm selling this one. I love it. The rest of the day while I was driving around, I was so excited to have this in the back of my car. But that is it. That's the haul from Long Island this weekend. So thanks again for watching. If you guys have any questions or you want to chit chat about what's Murano, not Murano in the comments, that'd be cool too, so we can all learn. Other than that, I want to try to get to Syracuse one of these days, because there's a bunch of antique stores and thrift stores out there. And if I get out there early in the morning, I can do like a lot in one day. It just, things, you know how life goes. Anyway, so that's what's next. For those of you just tuning in for the first time, I'm Liz. This is yesterday's Braid. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.